Mr. Meredith.
Mr. Collins.
Week 4.
We've made it. What is the focus this week?
Well, funny you should ask. At Pbl Park, we create a culture of being on time every time.
I love that. And as we're such a new school and we're getting bigger and bigger, we need to really work on our culture and make sure that we build it the right way, because we want to be on time all the time. Because if one person lets the team down, it's that flow-on effect.
It's like a community, hey?
It is like a community, or even a big family.
Yeah. And talking about big families, I tell you what, we had a good time catching up with two of my favourite teachers.
They are my favourite. Besides you, they are my favourite teachers. We had Mr. Terrichow.
Yes.
And the Right Honourable Mr. Turner.
Absolutely, and the G was what an insight.
Yeah, and they both have big families, and they spoke about how they've set their culture and set up their family so they have a nice routine and manage their time, and they shared that with us earlier on today.
Yes, and I got to go around and talk to some kids at school who also come from big families.
Oh wow!
And ask them, how do they manage their time? How do the mums and dads do it?
Well, let's have a look and see how we go.
Here we go.
Mr. Collins.
Mr. Meredith, we got some company.
We do. Mr. Terrichow.
There you go.
Mr. Turner.
I'm so glad you guys have joined us. I mean, the reason that we've asked Mr. Terrichow and Mr. Turner here is because the theme for this week is at Pbl Park, we create a culture of being on time every time. And who better to ask than the people in the school who've got the biggest families? So, Mr. Meredith, what would you like to ask these experts?
Absolutely. So we're trying to set our culture at school of being on time and getting organised. And obviously you guys have got many moving parts like our school has, with lots of people getting on time, lots of teachers. You've got a similar aspect, much smaller though, on a smaller scale at home. How does that work for you in setting your culture of being on time and time management and in your home life? What would that look like for you and your children?
Well, we normally wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get the ball going.
Wow.
Yep. So I have my grade 2 and 3 year olds that are getting up quite early to make sure that I get here on time.
Nice.
So it actually starts the day before. So the boys will come home from school and they will make the lunches for both myself and my partner, and they'll make the grade 2 and 3's lunches and stuff for them, and then start to prepare for dinner. That's the only way it will work. So I normally get home about 6 o'clock. We'll start to cook dinner, then dinner's done, clean up, everyone has their duty and their roster, and then the boys will all start their homework.
Nice.
Wow, that's cool. What about you, Mr. Turner?
Pretty much everything Mr. Terrichow said, just on Polynesian way. We so my kids, so I've got my 4 oldest or 3 oldest, they get up at 6 and they do a class from 6 to 7, and then after that the rest of the crew, they're up, they're starting to do things like do baby, breakfast, lunch, stuff like that, get ready for school. We go to school, I get back probably a little bit earlier, 4 to 5. By then, the kids have their duty, so whoever's on dinner for that week, they've got dinner by the time we get home, they've got that ready, we eat, and everyone's got their jobs. So it's not a matter of, oh, you have to do this, they know what they've got to do.
Yeah.
It's a part of the routine, and because they all do it, it works.
I suppose that's the big thing with managing everyone. If someone doesn't pull their weight and doesn't do the thing, it'll all kind of collapse on itself.
Yeah, no one really gets in trouble too when they don't contribute. They know that they're sort of letting the family down, and it just becomes quite chaotic if someone hasn't done their role. So it's less about them getting in trouble, but they see that there's a flow-on consequence to not doing, you know. We end up being late to work if the kids aren't doing the right thing in the morning. So yeah, they know that.
Yeah.
How does that relate to our school?
Well,
How do you think that relates to being at school?
Being on time, like, what if you're not on time? What happens to your classes?
yeah,
That's right.
Well, they're late, aren't they? Or another substitute teacher needs to come in, or someone has to cover the class some way, in some shape, way or form. So it's a flow-on effect, not only from my family when my kids aren't doing it, but for the school context. And I guess a lot of people would be in the same situation. There's a lot of blended families and people that are helping others come to school.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like we have our routines, and you've got your routines.
Right.
And
Trying to start a class, and then you have to restart it when someone comes late, and then restart it again. And it's not just the teacher that you're affecting, but it's the whole class. You know what I mean? So just like with the families, if one person's not doing it, then the whole family's affected. If one person is late to class, that's all it takes to wreck the routine for the whole class.
excellent.
Steals
What
time from
wise
everyone.
Thank you so much.
So I went around the school as well, and I've got some opinions from kids who come from big families as well.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
And different responses as well. So let's have a look at what they say.
Yeah,
Awesome.
okay.
Works.
And can I ask you, how does your mum manage to get everybody to one place at one time?
I'm a big help in the family, and so is my stepdad. We usually all work together to get the 3 youngest ready.
Is there one person in the family who is just always the late one?
Yes.
Who's that one? Get a name. You!
My brother Lucas.
Oh, your brother Lucas. Okay, Lucas, are you listening? How do your parents get everybody to one place at the same time?
Communication.
There we go. That's a good one. That's a good one. What about you, Anna?
We just drive
Yeah? And do you get on... Is there times when you guys are late?
all the time. Yeah.
All the time. It's difficult to manage that, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah? And tell me, if there's anyone in the family to be blamed for being late, who is the person?
My dad.
Your dad. What about your family?
My little sister.
Your little sister, what's her name?
Salon.
Oh, there you go, Salon. And what about your family?
Myself.
Yourself? Guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Welcome.
It's like good. Hearing from what those kids had to say. And
Yeah, it was great. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just love, we've got some incredible families at our school. And how they manage to go through all the diversity of getting to school on time and all those challenges. And we've got champions, hey?
Yeah, definitely do.
Hey, I'm so proud of our kids at our school. So listen, guys, thank you so much for listening. And as always, Mr. Meredith, what do we do?
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week.
And thank you guys
Thanks,
for
gentlemen.
joining us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you guys.